This is Sri Lanka, a country known for its gorgeous beaches, with beautiful crystalline turquoise waters surrounded by crashing waves, palm trees, and lush jungles. A destination where you can visit ancient temples during the day, sample some of the local seafood right on the beach, or just spend your day surfing the waves as they come rolling into the shore. However, what drew me to the little town of Marissa, here on the south shore of Sri Lanka, was not the waves, but the prospect of getting to dive with whales, especially giant blue whales, as Marissa is one of the few places in the world where you can have that opportunity. I arrived in Marissa just in time for a late afternoon stroll along the beach and was treated to a lovely, colorful sunset at the end of the day. However, the next day I was up bright and early, ready to get out on the water and try to find some whales. By the time we reached the deep blue ocean, the surface of the water was so beautiful and glassy, reflecting the lazy floating clouds. But it wasn't long before we noticed some exciting activity happening on the surface of the water. There was a huge pod of dolphins breaking the surface, jumping, and playing all around us.
Yeah. You see with the big fins? Yeah. This is a violet whale, but now violet whale they underwater. Yeah.
And right there in the middle of the dolphins was a much smaller but equally impressive pod of pilot whales. So I got a few quick videos of some of the bigger individuals coming up and breaching the surface. And since the boat had to keep pace with the whales, I stuck my camera under the water as we were driving along just to see if we could catch a few images of them swimming beside the boat. But soon enough, it was time to gear up and get in the water. But the tricky thing about getting in the water is that because the pilot whales were actually migrating at this time of year, it meant that they didn't spend very much time on the surface. So catching a quick glimpse of them before they dove down into the depths required careful timing by the boat captain and being ready to jump into the water at any given moment. The first few times I tried this, it was actually quite disorienting, jumping into the water with my gear on before the boat had even come to a stop, and quickly trying to figure out where the whales were before they started diving. However, after a few tries, I started to get the hang of it and got some really amazing shots. Here you can see a playful dolphin coming up to swim with one of the pilot whales, which is interesting because pilot whales are not actually true whales. They're actually more related to the dolphins and members of the dolphin family that have teeth like dolphins, but normally prefer hunting in the deep water ocean, where their primary prey are squid and deep water fish. Although it was a little bit exhausting sometimes getting in and out of the water constantly, it was really exhilarating to get the chance to swim next to these magnificent creatures as they effortlessly glide through the ocean searching for their next meal. And just as I was about ready to get out of the water, I got a surprise as this cute and playful little dolphin decided to come check me out. After a fun but thoroughly exhausting day chasing the pilot whales, it was time to head back to the shore and catch another stunning Marissa sunset. Although I was a little bit disappointed that we didn't get to see any of the larger true whales on this trip, getting to witness this big pod of dolphins and pilot whales swimming together was truly a breathtaking sight. And the guide told me he would call me the next day if anybody had spotted a blue whale. And sure enough, the next morning, I got the call that someone had spotted a massive blue whale really far out in the deep ocean. After a very long boat ride, we were about 2 hours away from Marissa out in the middle of the deep water shipping channel, which was a little bit crazy because we were in this tiny boat getting passed by these massive cargo ships. There were actually about 3 small boats with guides that were on constant watch for any sign of a whale breaching. These massive whales are moving really fast and only come up once to breathe air, so you really only have about 30 seconds. But this time, I had to be ready to hit the water at full speed as the boat was racing towards the breaching whale. Sometimes the impact of hitting the water was so hard that it would turn my camera off or knock my mask off my face, which meant that I missed my first few attempts to get some decent video of the whales. However, on the next attempt, with a little luck and perfect timing from the boat captain, we nailed it. Even though these massive creatures are sometimes the length of a commercial airliner, it's really hard to get a true perspective of how enormous they are in a simple video. Or just how quickly they seem to effortlessly drift away into the blue. And just as I thought the adventure was over, the wind and ocean combined to whip up a surprise of its own. And our tiny little boat and our bodies took a beating on the waves for nearly 2 hours coming back to Marissa. This video is actually right after the boat nearly capsized on a big wave and threw me into the water.
We're still alive. Look at the ocean today. It's so windy. It's coming out. We were riding on that for like 2 hours. It's insane. You get a little idea of what the ocean and the waves look like today. You guys actually out circling it. It was crazy waves today. Coming back from seeing the blue whale, but totally worth it.
So now it was time to kick back on the beach, grab a couple beers, and watch the locals shred the waves. And enough time to catch one final sunset in Marissa before I head out to Yala National Park to try to spot a leopard.